Alright, y'all, welcome back to Liv Loves Literature. It has been quite some time. I really want to rebrand my channel. There is a critical thinking crisis, as you all probably know if you're on the internet. There's a critical thinking crisis in schools and also just in real life. And I kind of just want to shift my content into a direction that I've kind of always wanted to, but have been scared to. But I have to realize that if something is being placed on my heart to talk about, then I need to talk about it. I want to start off by saying how reading made me a better person. Not that I feel like I was such a bad person before I started reading, but whenever I started reading, I really started to see the world so differently, and also with the help of my high school English teacher. This is kind of off the dome, so if it seems like it's off the dome, it's because it is off the dome. So the first way that reading made me a better person was understanding the thoughts and emotions of other people without even having to talk to other people. Like, whenever you're reading, you're obviously not talking to anyone. You're not, I mean, unless you talk to your book, but you are able to step inside the mind of various different people. If the book is multi-perspective, then you are able to step into the perspectives of both the characters. Typically, I read a lot of dual perspective romance, so I'm able to see through both mindsets. But also the author, you forget that you're reading, that you are entering the author's mind. Because at the end of the day, I mean, yes, these are characters, but this is based out of the author's mind. So you're getting to see, how do they think? How do they view life? How do they want to, or is this not even how they view life, but is this just a lens that they are choosing to write through? Okay, you know how they say that Taylor Swift will write from the perspective of somebody who is not her? That is incredibly insightful, and that is the experience that you will have when reading. There's so many different layers to that you're looking through, but you're getting to see someone else's perspective without even having to, get out of your shell and interview people or whatever. So that's super cool. That's reason number one. Number two is reading actually helped me look at relationships differently. And this is a recent development because in my youth, I really didn't read like romance or anything. I mean, romance is adult. Like, the romance genre is definitely catered towards adults. But they have like your teeny bopper romances that you can read like in middle school and high school, but those didn't hit as hard as like the Percy Jackson and Harry Potters of it all. But in Harry Potter and Percy Jackson and Hunger Games and in all those, they did have like at least one epic romance, and honestly that really shaped the way that I viewed life. It's very unlikely that you're going to have one big romance in your life. You're probably going to have more than one. So, you reading about, you read Percy Jackson and you see how Percy, spoiler alert, you see how Percy and Annabeth meet at like 11 years old and then they fall in love and never separate. Like, that is, not as realistic, unfortunately, because it's a tough world out there. But regardless, though, that did impact the way that I viewed life and relationships. But also in my current reading life, I read more romance than I do fantasy, which is crazy because I used to hate the idea of reading romance. But anyways, in reading a lot of romance, I realized like the cracks in the ways that romance actually isn't perfect and the work that you have to put into it to keep it alive. It's not just, oh, he looked at me and blah blah. I mean, of course a lot of it is that, but a lot of the romance that I read is hard, and they go through hard traumatic things that they have to work through on their own so that they can be closer together at the end of the day. This is reason number three is vocabulary. There are so many words that I've learned from books. You don't even realize the way that reading has improved your vocabulary until you start speaking to people in the real world and they're like, why did you just use that word? You could have just said this. And I'm like, oh, it's because I read. Yes. Reading does improve your vocabulary, and why would you not want that? Like, wait, the less you know, the easier that you're controlled. Like, I don't see why that's such a hard concept to understand. So as an adult, you should be filling your brain with as much stuff as possible so that you're not easily controlled. Is that reading can show you into a glimpse of the past, present, and future. Like, if a book is written, not only is it that if a book is written in 1935, then you will get an insight into what life was like in 1935. Even if that story doesn't take place in 1935, you are getting a glimpse into how the author thought that another year would be like in 1935. So it's still like, it's such that weird time travel-esque thing, like how someone wrote a story about, is it George Orwell's 1984, about microwaves and such, and what they thought the future would be like. That tells a lot about where they were at that time. And then of course we had the masterpiece that is The Hunger Games, which is becoming a true classic. The Hunger Games obviously was written in, I believe, the mid 2000s or early 2000s, and it is supposed to take place way, way, way in the future. Well, I mean, I hope it's way, way, way in the future. But anyways, it's supposed to take place way, way, way in the future, but it is very, when you watch the author talk about creating the series, she was watching reality TV shows in that time that made her think of what it could be like in the future. My hands looked crazy for a second. Humans are bound to repeat history, right? So predicting the future isn't really as hard as you think. If you are educated and you know about the past and you know about the present, then you can predict the future. Like, you can basically time travel into the future if you read, if you're well educated. So there's that. One more reason, the last and final reason, is that reading literally is exercise to the brain. While I was decorating my classroom, because yes, I'm a middle school teacher, if you did not, I'm a middle school English teacher, if you did not know that. When I was decorating my classroom last year, I was looking for quotes to put around my room, and I found a quote that it said, reading to the brain is like exercise to the body. And that has really, really stuck with me. I'm probably gonna put the quote up here so you can see who said that. But that really stuck with me because I'm like, dang, like, that's so true. Like, when I'm reading, or like, I recently got into audiobooks, and I've been listening to the audiobooks on 1.7 speed. And I noticed when I switched back to reading on my Kindle, I was zooming through those pages. I must admit, not even to brag, I am a very fast reader. Like, I'm well known for it. I'm well known to be a very fast reader. But I was reading even faster because of how my brain had been taking in those words at that speed with the audiobook. So I was like, oh my gosh, like, my brain is going. And you want longevity for your brain. Your brain sits at the throne of your body. Like, brain, you are training it. You are putting it through these mental hoops so that it can function better. And why wouldn't you want that? So those are the 5 ways that reading has transformed my life. If you have started reading, please let me know how reading has transformed your life, and let's start reading more together. I totally didn't plan for this to go up on the last day of the year, but you know, you caught me. I was about to say school year. That's how you know I'm a teacher. But anyways, I didn't plan for this to go up on the last day of the year. But hey, it just did, because yeah. But anyways, bye y'all.